Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Lucifer Lakeborn coming back at you from the car. You can see that. I have a bat dog with me. Cody. Oh, alright, so where do we begin? Now, as everybody may or may not know, if you look back in some of my older videos, I start talking about a movie that was about to come out called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This movie released the day after my birthday, and I only just now finally got to go see it. Of course, I took my girl with me, and we just got out of the theater. I actually had to travel across town to a different theater than my normal one, and I just got out of the movie. So, what is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? If you haven't heard of it, it is a movie that is about scary stories. Sorry, people loading up into a car next to me, as you can see. Anyways, it's about scary stories to tell in the dark. This is a book series that I grew up with, that many of us of my generation, and I'm now almost 40, I'm 38 now, grew up with. I mean, these were some pretty terrifying stories. The imagery in the books was absolutely bonkers, and it was completely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. You can see damage that Klee did when she was a puppy. I still haven't gotten it fixed. Anyways, so, yeah, that's my ticket and everything. So, this movie, how do I explain it? Oh my goodness. First off, go see the movie. If you have not gone and seen this movie in the theater, go see it. However, be prepared. Brace yourself. This movie is a period piece. Sort of. A little trend that I've been noticing has been going on, and I've actually been happy to see this trend. It's a trend that I've always enjoyed and whatnot. It heralds back to my childhood. Hang on, I'm just gonna roll up my windows here. The old trend that I've enjoyed was kids as the main characters. Kids as the main characters. Young kids as the main characters. And that was the setting here. We've recently seen it in Stranger Things and It, Chapter 1. As well as, I think, a couple other movies and TV shows. But there's always been a timeless innocence to this premise. And to throw it into a horror setting is a very scary thing to do. And Stephen King did it really well with It. And Stranger Things, well, I'm sorry, but that's just a love letter to the 80s. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark happens during the Nixon era. Literally, it happens during Election Day, Halloween and Election Day for Richard Nixon. Okay, so that tells you the era. It's Vietnam, and all hell, is breaking loose. So that tells you the era. That tells you the premise. Now, here is the thing that you got to be aware of. There is racism in this movie. There is outright belligerent racism. When I say racism, I mean one of the main characters flat out gets called a wetback. Alright? It gets painted on something of his very openly and blatantly. Okay? It is a very strange movie. There is blatant and open racism in many regards. Now, one thing I will say is everybody, this is a little bit of a spoiler, everybody who commits an act of racism, okay, does end up getting what's coming to them. But I'm going to tell you something. This is the era that this took place in. Racism happened, okay? And it was common. It was very commonplace. What isn't so commonplace is that in our modern times that we don't PC it and put it into a major film. I enjoyed that. Did I enjoy seeing the perpetrators of the racism get what's coming to them? Sort of, yeah. Especially the one character. I really enjoyed it. The creatures, I'm going to call them creatures, because they're not, I don't know if they're exactly what you would call ghosts, but there is an actual ghost in the movie. And these creatures are sort of coming out of her imagination. Yes, it is a female ghost. If you watch the trailers for this movie, that part has already been stated. But these creatures, these entities that are coming out of her imagination are straight out of the books. And they are morbid, they are twisted, it is something to relish and enjoy. I actually enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie very intensely. And excuse me. This movie is definitely what I would call if it's not a 5-star movie, I'm going to say it's at least a 4-star movie. It is a very good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I recommend anybody who wants to go see a good movie, go see this one. Now, here is one little thing. It's been talked about recently that it's been overdone and whatnot. And in this movie, they do it again, but in this movie, it's for a legit creature. Is the jump scare. They do the jump scare quite a bit. I think there's a couple areas where it's a false scare and whatnot. But once the stories start picking up, they do the jump scares. And they do it almost every single time. And I don't know if it's just me that I've been watching horror movies for so long. I'm anesthetized to it. I know half the theater, there was a fair amount of people there. I know half the theater jumped with it. I'm like, oh boy. And here I am, just like, yep, that's that. And of course, Khalid, she didn't twitch at it. She started misbehaving at the end. She was getting bored. She actually tried to crawl into my lap. The theater is one of the theaters with the recliners in it, and I was enjoying that. But so, anyways, that's where I'm going to wrap this up. If you have not seen Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, go see it. When it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, go buy it. This movie is worth it. Okay, here's the thing. I know there's this whole new, wokeness level to movies and whatnot. If you are woke, this is the last thing I'm going to say. If you are woke, don't go watch this movie. This movie is not a woke movie, alright? Yes, one of the primary characters who does survive till the end is of ethnic origin, okay? Yes, the primary lead in this movie is female, okay? By no means are they woke. at no point in time do they actually start up a relationship with each other. They are very firm friends. It does lead into the possibility that they might start up a relationship with each other down the line by the end of the movie. But primarily, no. This movie at no point in time is woke. It does not put in woke politics. I guess, okay, so I have to correct myself. It does put in a few minor woke politics when everybody who did something racist got theirs. But aside from that, no. There is no wokeness to this movie. There is absolutely no wokeness to this movie. So if you're gonna come at this movie like an SJW or what, SJWs are gonna hate this movie. Why? Because there's not enough representation. There is absolutely 100% zero gay characters in this movie. There is only one primary character of ethnic origin. The rest of the characters are white. Okay? They are white. There's only one primary lead character who's of ethnic origin, and that's it. And that is literally it. So, if you're going to come at this movie with a woke mindset, don't. If you're going to come at this movie like an SJW or whatnot, this movie is going to piss you off. If you're going to come at this movie like a radical third-generation feminist or whatnot, don't go see this movie. You are going to hate this movie. If you're going to come at this movie like you're gay, lesbian, whatever, and expect to be seeing that in this movie, don't. You're not going to see any of it. This movie is a good movie that puts story first before politics. And I enjoyed this movie. I know most normal people are going to enjoy this movie. Go see this movie, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. If you like a good ghosty movie, a good horror story, this is the one for you. This is Lucifer Leghorn. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends. Share it with all of your family. Share it on Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. That way you know whenever I'm putting up another video. And until next time, I will see you later. It's Lucifer Leghorn. I'm out of here.